Hey everyone, Noodle here. Today I want to talk to you about prefabs and their ever-growing bases. What's up with the giant foundations? And are they actually helping with prefab placement? Yesterday, live on the show, I purchased two of the most recent sheds in the Atomic Shop, each with a different type of base. And boy oh boy was I surprised at their performances. I was so wrong in my assumptions. Let me show you what I learned so that you can decide what to spend your hard-earned atoms on and what to pass by in the future. Our first contestant on It's All About That base is the Dirty Den. The Dirty Den is supposed to be the hot new item in the Atomic Shop this week. It's part of the patriotic Dirty Den bundle, and it's also available as a standalone item for the low price of 500 atoms. But is it really worth getting at all? Let's find out. I've picked out this nice spot for us to test drive our prefabs. It has slopes, steep and shallow, and a flat bit of ground. Contestant number 1, can you be placed on a slope? That would be a big fat no. This is so bad, it's humorous. So there are two types of prefab bases, the standard giant cement block and this newer, sexier dirt mount variation. My bet was on this. I was 100% sure that the reason for these giant dirt mounds was to offer a friendlier and more immersive placement experience. But now, what we get is the exact opposite of that. This thing is unruly and unyielding. It snaps to the first touch of the ground and there it stays and hovers. Okay, I'm being harsh. This is indeed a very steep slope. Most prefabs can't handle this. Let's step it down a bit. Contestant number 1, please step down a bit and show us how you can be placed on just a slightly inclined surface. Okay, that's still really freaking bad. It's actually clipping to the grass here. In fact, contestant number 1 failed even on this slightly ribbed surface over at a razor grain field. Oof, what a letdown. Okay, you get one final shot, contestant number 1. We're all about chances on this show. How about a perfectly flat piece of ground? Even you can't mess this up. And hooray! He did it. We finally got a nice placement without anything hovering. So, are these all like this? Ladies and gentlemen, before we bring on contestant number 2, we have a special surprise for you. That's right, number 1, your brother is here today. From the same family of layman useless tiny prefabs with especially unrealistic sandbags, we bring you Mud Hut. And none of these apples fall far from the rotten tree. Same. Looks like I was totally wrong about the dirt mound bases. Let's see how contestant number 2 does with that giant cement base. This overlooked little prefab is known simply as Toolshed, and is also available as part of a bundle and as a standalone purchase for 500 atoms, though time is running out on this one. Contestant number 2, steep slope please. Barely better, but I see that some of the base is at least trying to merge with the ground. Okay, fair enough, that slope is officially too steep for prefabs. No worries. Contestant number 2, please slide down the hill for us and show off that base. Better. Much better. Let's try different inclines. Different ditches. Bust out with a couple of these. And a huge roar of applause from the audience. We have a winner. It's not perfect. This is a Bethesda product after all. So our expectations here on the show were pretty low to begin with. But at least this base can handle some minor ruts and waves of the terrain, which Dirty Dan failed at miserably. I like this little prefab so much, I took the time to decorate it. And I gotta tell you, This thing is underrated. It is so much more than a tool shed. First of all, it's huge for a tool shed. I was able to make it into an actual home. Second, it comes with a power connector, like a house. I'm powering this adorable shack with just a single solar panel. It features unusual textures like the roof shingles and realistic spider webs. It has super cute windows, and it's easy to decorate inside and out. The base is still a bit of an eyesore, but with some plants around it and other decorations on it, I can live with it. As opposed to this thing, which I didn't even bother decorating, it's much smaller. Granted, it's not supposed to be big. It is, after all, a shed and not a house, but still. It has no power connector. It's not interesting in any way, really. It's just a box that floats. Knowing that there's virtually no way that I will ever use this structure because of how terrain specific it is, I simply decorated it with a steaming pile of guts and gore and honest opinions. So there you have it, friends. The two types of prefab bases put to the test and put on display. Is there any hope for Bethesda ever giving us something we can work with easily and without hacks and merges? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Remember, you still have a couple of days to grab the amazing little house cunningly disguised as a boring shed. And you have nearly 3 weeks to avoid getting the dirty den. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Noodle Pants, one half of Game Aviator. Thank you so much for watching, for all your support and your super chats, and until next time, keep your structures on the ground where they belong.
In the heart of West Virginia, where the shadows creep and sway, lies a land of rusted dreams, where the brave dare not stray. Appalachia, oh, it's a treacherous ride, with dangers untold and nowhere to hide.